Imagine a guy so evil that he justified bombing millions of people into oblivion. Wait a moment. Oh, this is killing me. Sorry, forgot my Henry Kissinger mask on. So, imagine a guy so evil that he justified bombing millions of people into oblivion, with no allegiances, doing everything to secure the global dominance of his hosting country. A life of deception, subversion, a life devoid of human empathy, a life devoid of moral values, all in the name of power and control. And that guy's name is Emperor Palpatine. Henry Kissinger. The left sees Henry Kissinger as a controversial figure who improved relations with China and kept them out of Soviet influence while serving the capitalist system and furthering USA's interest. The right sees Henry Kissinger as a controversial figure who served his country doing everything that was necessary for protecting and furthering USA's interest in a very tense and tumultuous period in history while preventing a communist takeover. And people with a brain sees Henry Kissinger as a bloodthirsty, warmongering, cold, devoid of principles, vengeful war criminal. And you know what? I'm gonna refer to him as Dr. Evil from now on because he's not worth my breath uttering the name of this piece of shit. So why am I so mad at this dead guy? Well, for starters, because he wasn't tried as a war criminal while he was alive. What did he do? I'm glad you asked. Hit it, Johnny! March 1969, he directed the US Air Force to make a carpet bombing campaign over Cambodia. Yeah, I wonder where Netanyahu learned that from. Remember, Cambodia at that time remained neutral during the Vietnam War, a country of 7 million people, from which 2 million were displaced or remained homeless or starved to death, and more than 100,000 confirmed dead. In total, the good old USA dropped 2,700,000 tons of bombs on Cambodia. That is the equivalent of all the bombs detonated on the Eastern Front during World War II. Many of them never actually detonated, making Cambodia the world's largest minefield. This leaving a huge political power vacuum in Cambodia, leading to the rise of one of the most violent communist revolutions in history, the Khmer Rouge, with Pol Pot in charge. His revolution killing more than 3 million people, with all the intellectuals, political opponents and journalists criticizing Pol Pot and blowing up the central bank to achieve a moneyless society, making the life expectancy of a Cambodian in 1977 almost 19 years old on average. Ah yes, achieving communism, one genocide at a time. Dr. Evil also was involved, along with the CIA, in the 1973 Chilean coup d'etat where the General Augusto Pinochet overthrew the socialist president Salvador Allende, bringing a military dictatorship to Chile that lasted until the early 90s. Oh yeah, and Pinochet was famous for giving helicopter rides to his political opponents, sometimes surprising them by playing bungee jumping from the helicopter without a parachute. What a funny, quirky guy. I guess you could say those commies achieved communism. With the ground. Based. 1971, the US-backed Pakistan waged a genocidal war in East Pakistan, now named Bangladesh for obvious reasons, approving weapon shipments to Pakistan and ignoring the pleas from the American embassy in Bangladesh to stop the slaughter. What's that? Sorry, I can't hear you over the sound of freedom, baby! The conflict resulted in more than 300,000 dead and 10 million fleeing into India. December 1975, after the Watergate fiasco and Nixon's resignment, Dr. Evil and Henry Ford approved and supplied Indonesia's invasion of East Timor, where USA's military occupied the island for 25 years, leading to almost 200,000 dead. That's a quarter of their population. If that ain't a genocide, I don't know what is. Right, Bibi? March 1976, he approved and supported with supplies and weapons a military coup in Argentina to overthrow Isabel Perón, keeping a military junta in power where they tortured and murdered political dissidents. Check Wiki for dirty war. And now let's see his domestic political schemes. 1964, while serving under President Lyndon B. Johnson, LBJ for you dimwits, he approached the Nixon presidential campaign, giving Nixon information about a secret meeting in France between the then current Democrat administration and the South Vietnamese government, where they went to discuss peace talks to end the devastating Vietnam War. The CIA and the FBI bugged the hotel rooms, sabotaging the peace talks by offering the South Vietnamese government a better deal under the future Republican administration, resulting in prolonging the war with 7 more years. So he threw LBJ under the bus while kissing Nixon's ass, prolonging the war. Yes, Goem, I can give you a much better deal, Goem. What did he do 4 years later to force the North Vietnamese to the negotiating table? Brutally bomb them, of course!
Yes, I want to see blood and guts, Goem.
And then guess what happened? He received a Nobel Peace Prize for ending the war that didn't end until 1975. Tom Lehrer said in response to that, political satire became obsolete when Henry Kissinger was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Ouch, friendly fire there, Tom. Careful, he's one of you. And he declined the award by saying,
I don't want peace. I want problems, always.
You see, with all these bombings, death and destruction this man was responsible of, you would think that, man, this guy deserved to burn in hell for all eternity for what he did. But I would contradict you. You see, Henry Kissinger is better than you. You see, he did everything that was necessary to fill the pockets of the establishment. To assure peace and prosperity for USA. You see, what you stupid sheep don't understand is that he had to bomb those tens of millions of people around the globe. Because he is special. He's one of the chosen people for Moses' sake. And he gets a free pass to do that. On top of that, he was bullied for being one of the chosen people by a young, tall, blonde, blue-eyed German kid that stole his girlfriend when he was just a little boy. Can you really blame her? You selfish assholes have no humanity, no empathy. Leave Kissy alone! Leave Kissy alone! You don't understand his pain!
You ungrateful Goyim!
Okay, sorry, I got a little carried away. You see, let's see some clips from one of his last interviews. Let's see what he thinks of a controversial figure such as him. I don't know, let's say Mao Zedong.
I would say Mao.
He killed almost 90 million people. Mao is still celebrated in China.
He would kill what was needed to achieve his objectives.
You see, he has empathy. For genocidal maniacs like him, but still. He was 100 years old in his last interview. He surely regrets what he's done. I mean, you know, with old age comes serenity, comes wisdom.
When you and President Nixon conceived of the bombing of Cambodia, you did it in order to interdict...
Come on. We have been bombing with drones and all kinds of weapons, every guerrilla unit that we were opposing. It's been the same in every administration of either party.
The consequences in Cambodia were particular...
Come on now.
Were particular...
This is a program you're doing because I'm going to be 100 years old.
Right.
And you're picking a topic of something that happened 60 years ago. You have to know that it was a necessary step. Now the younger generation feels that if they can raise their emotions, they don't have to think. If they think, they won't ask that question.
Oh. I guess he did die a piece of shit then. Well, you know what they say. Only the good die young. Well, Kissy, at least now you can visit your friend Mao.
In hell.
You see, a man that killed perhaps tens of millions and his actions starved and displaced countless lives, a man that wasn't tried for his crimes while he was alive, really shows you that some of us have privileges attached to our religion, ethnicity, and allegiances. And it shows you how corrupt rotten and genocidal the system that we live in truly is. Some live lengthy lives with luxuries and abundance. Others have their lives destroyed, sometimes even taken away from them by people with no morality or principles. So, rest in peace, dear Henry. Rest in peace. If you think for a moment that I was exaggerating or I was fabricating stuff, I linked every source in the description below, and everything has been declassified by the CIA anyway after his death. So, go on, ask them. But don't ask them about the Lavon affair.